Um, this is Mama. I'm back on part two of, I was talking about two people becoming one. And that makes me think of what it is to be equally yoked. And equally yoked, to be equally yoked with someone is a very deep manner because you're talking about the emotional, the historical aspect of a person, the intellectual, the financial. You're not only talking about being compatible with one another, but enhancing one another, being able to be the strength in someone else's weaknesses. And that is a challenging thing to do. And I don't think that we, as alone in our finite minds, our abilities, have the power to choose a person that deeply. I think that sometimes we do make good choices, and that's just by the grace of God. But I think really, or I believe really, to choose that person that will walk with us and endure the challenges and the obstacles or have the mindset to do so. I think that only God can choose that person. I've seen ministers who appear to have a good marriage, who have longevity in their marriage, and then at the end of their life, they get sick, and you see the other spouse resenting the care of that person. So I think that when we allow God to make those choices for us, not that it takes our free will out, because we still have the free will to choose or to say yes or to say no in everything in life. But when we trust in God enough to allow Him to make those choices, that we come out with a better outcome and a better circumstances, because He knows our future and He knows the obstacles that we're going to face. And so it's just good to allow God to make that important choice, to give Him the opportunity to make that choice, because He knows what He has for you. And it says, the Bible says that the gifts of God are good, and that He knows what He has for you. His plans are to do you good and not evil. So I just encourage everyone to be very prayerful in choosing a spouse or in choosing a mate, whether it's the first time or whether it's the second time or whether it's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever time it is. It's just, when you learn better, when you learn to do better, then you do better. And though we make mistakes sometimes in relationships and we choose the wrong person, and then we get the information or the knowledge to make a better choice, then it's no time that's too late. So that's my take on God can and will choose the best mate if we allow Him to. And if we want to make that choice in ourselves, He just lets us do it. I mean, He allowed God is so loving that when Israel wanted a king, He said, they have denied me or abandoned me. And I was their leader, I was their defender. But if you want a king, then I'll give you a king. And He warned them before they made their choice. He said, hey, your king, he's going to have rule over you. He's going to tax you. He's going to take your family members as his servants, and he gave them a warning, and they still wanted a king. So God will allow us to do many things, but his perfect will is that we obey him and walk in the way that he has laid out for us, whatever that is. And it's not always an easy walk. So that's my take on God can choose a mate for you if you would allow him. And I hope that you will. I hope that something that I said will benefit your life, or that it will at least give you something to think over, or questions to ask, or decisions to make. And until the next time, you be blessed. And I'm sorry that I had to do this second video, but I think that I covered that. And I would like to add that discussing marriage, it can be a lengthy process, because it takes something. It's a give and take situation, and it's always better to be self-sacrificing and committed and loving another individual, and that can be rough. But anyway, until next time, you all be blessed. Bye bye.